Oh, but Laser, what if the stores have great deals? You never know what you could miss out on if you aren't there. And yes, more Super Auto Pets today. I'll be there in just a second while I fill up my glass with some water. But before I do that, welcome Eschaton as well, or that first redeem as well. And Laser, of course, you too. Let me go get some water. There was a sale on an energy drink called Celsius. Oh my. Well, I'm glad it was Celsius and not a drink called Fahrenheit. That would have been tragic, wouldn't it? 2 for about $3.50. This is one of the functional drinks that contain nutrients and BCAA and stuff, which is why they're a little bit pricier than most. Oh, I assume it's a bit better than the, what is it? You know, like the other energy drinks like Red Bull or, what is it? Monster and all that stuff. And Fahrenheit would be a rad name for an I mean, yeah. In all honesty, Fahrenheit would sound like a really cool drink name. It'd probably be a horrible unit of measurement, but at least for for a drink it would sound cool. And what about Kelvin? Oh, Kelvin would be the king. Only the true chads of the world would be able to drink Kelvins. But welcome, by the way, Bolter Marcel? Marseille? I think it's... Let me know if I pronounce it correctly, though. But here, Laser is trying to fight against the Imperial System bot, Streamlabs here. You will succumb. You will use the metric system here, Laser. Or Kelvin, I suppose. What is it? Kelvin is... it's 273 lower than Celsius, right? I forget the conversion. I remember I had to know it right the whole time. Rankine, oh my goodness. I forget what Rankine exactly is. I mean, considering I'm supposed to be studying to be an engineer, I should know all this stuff, right? What was Rankine again? 273.15. I can never remember the decimal. The Rankine scale is an absolute scale of thermodynamic temperature named after the Glasgow University engineer and physicist Macron Rankine. Oh, the Rankine, it's the cycle, not the scale. Oh my, yeah, it's the engine cycle, where you have like, oh my goodness, you have like adiabatic expansion or something like that. Oh, I know exactly what it is. Is Rankine the imperial version of Fahrenheit? Ah, I see. The name of the main prosecutor in the Ace Attorney series again? You keep forgetting. Mike's Edgeworth. But hang on, let me actually... Oh my... It's just the mentioning of the Rankine cycle. It's gotten me worked up again. It's the Rankine and the Otto cycle. I remember I had a whole module in second year dedicated to learning that and stuff. I think 0 Kelvin is 270. Close, Daily Doge. 0 Kelvin. Oh, no, yeah, that's actually it. 0 Kelvin would be 273. But 0.15. You must never forget the decimals. Never forget the decimals. It's incredibly important. Yeah, like absolute 0 would be negative 273. Because the Kelvin is just... It's nice because Kelvin and Celsius are in the exact same scale. In other words, from 1 degree to the next degree or 1 Kelvin to the next Kelvin, it's the exact same difference. It's just their base values are set at a different place. But it's interesting though that looking it up now, Rankine is technically speaking a different scale. It's the imperial system or the imperial version of Kelvin, but there is also a Rankine cycle. That's what I know of it as. Let me see if I can actually pull it up. It's all just random, say Fahrenheit. You're gonna give the bot a heart attack. And yes, Bolter is correct. Sometimes you need the 5. I would argue you always need the 5 significant figures, especially when it comes to temperature and stuff like that. Depending on what you're working with, in like an HVAC unit or something, those decimals can really creep in on you. But let me quickly have a look and see here. For once, we're not arguing about daylight savings times, but we're always arguing about something that the Americans are doing. Last time it was daylight savings, now it's the imperial system. Look. So this is... I'll be with you all in just a second while I sort out some stuff in OBS. Considering it's been like, what, 4 or 5 days since the last stream on Monday. Oddly enough, I did have to try and figure things out again one more time. But let's quickly go over here. Like we were talking about now, the Rankine cycle. This is what I was talking about now. This is the Rankine cycle that I know of. So I didn't think of the scale or the units of measurement or something. The first thing I went to was this. Here's what I had to learn in my second year. What is the square root of 3? Oh my goodness. What is with all the math so early? Or not so early, so soon into the stream. I have my calculator out by me. What is the square root of 3? 1.73. I feel like that's a significant number, isn't it? That E is square root of 1? Something? Forget. But yeah, as it says, there's a big difference between 0.000 and 0.00001 degrees Celsius. How is it rational that we use irrational numbers for the linchpin of our angle calculations? Oh my goodness. Don't even get me started about how we use imaginary numbers to describe angles and stuff like that. Like, what is it? Like 1e, and then you have the cos and the sine and stuff like that. Oh my goodness. Why are we talking about math? I feel like these are things I should know as well. But it's stuff I haven't had to use in so long. You personally think that math sucks and we should all suddenly turn into crabs? Daily Doge, I agree with that. I imagine crabs don't have to deal with imaginary numbers or square roots or stuff like that. Algebra and calculus. Crabs don't have to deal with this type of math, surely. I would hope. The memory rule is that the square root of 3 is approximately e to the negative 1. Really? I assume that's e to the power negative 1. What is e to the power negative 1? E to the power negative 1. 0.367. Not that close enough. Imaginary are somewhat important because it's required for 2D. That's true. They are very useful for that. I know, because that's the whole that was the whole point of imaginary numbers, right? And that's why the sine and cos to determine where they are on the plane and stuff like that. Crabs don't have mass and they're happy and lively. Exactly. It just makes you think of, what is it? Where is the crab thing? Like, maybe they're just dancing around like that in this GIF because of the fact that they don't have to do math. Wait, will it play in here? Yeah. This is me if I didn't have to do math. I'd just be dancing around like a crab. But alas, We are stuck with having to know about math. E is about 2.718, 1.71 versus 1.73. Oh my goodness. All the math in the decimal places. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think in my studies and all that stuff, we were always told never round off your numbers. Like, just when you use a calculation, store it in your calculator, and you only ever round off to like significant digits at the end of your calculation, at the final step only. So if you have like 2.35 and then it has like 10 decimal places, instead of just writing it down, you store it as a number. Because in theory, if you truncate it off at the end, early on in like the first few steps, it could have like a butterfly effect towards the end, your final result. But it's better than memorizing 100 different constants. Yeah, that's true. Like all the different constants and all that stuff, like E. What else is there? I know there are a bunch of other like important constants. E, pi. What else is there? Forget. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I mean, like, there's also other like speed of sound, speed of light. But that's also gets like truncated to 3.84, I think, times 10 to the power something. But yeah, as Laser says, if you really need exact values, just use a calculator. And I mean, if you are doing work that is really reliant on having exact numbers, you should be using a calculator anyway, not your head. It's no harder than memorizing ID numbers. 4 to 5 digits are pretty much the most you can memorize with a single number. I know, weirdly enough, I actually do know my own ID number. I've memorized my ID number off by heart by accident. I remember it was when I was applying for university. So this is about 5 years ago. 6 years ago? Holy shit, was that? 5 years ago. And on the application form, I had to input my ID number. And the thing is, though, that obviously I would do it by having my ID in front of me and writing it down. But there were issues when I was applying, and I kept on applying, and it kept on giving me an error saying, oh, your application, there was an error with your application. Please do it again. So the number of times I would have to go onto that webpage and type in my ID number over and over again, applying over and over, I ended up just thinking to myself, let me just memorize my number so I don't have to like look at my ID. So it's just from the fact that I had to type it in so many times, I've memorized my ID number now. Calculators are converting from base 2 to base 10 which introduces error. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's why you should, when I got to my later years in university, I stopped using a calculator. And what I did start to do was I used a program called SMath. And at first my teachers were against it because I would now, instead of writing out like equations by hand and doing all the calculations, I would effectively speaking type out all my homework on a computer. And I guess my lecturers weren't happy with it because, oh, you're not doing it by hand, you could be cheating. To which I said, well, even if I do it by hand, you can't prove that I'm not cheating there as well. So why not just let me use this program that does all the calculations and stores everything for me, and type it out like that. The only reason the squares of 13 and 14 is because they're 169 and 196. Is that true? 13 squared. I mean, yeah, the last digit is 3, so it would be 69, right? 13 squared is 169, and 14 squared is 196. Well, now I'll also remember that forever now. 12 squared is easy because it's 144. I always remember when you had to learn your times tables or your multiplication tables, right? You would have 1 through 12, or the tables would be 1 through 12, and also each table would have the numbers 1 through 12. So you'd have 1 times 1, 1 times 2, 1 times 3, so on and so forth. And for me, the hardest ones were also always the squared numbers, because I guess the trick that people would always do is you only ever really had to know like half of the multiplication tables, because you reach a point where, like here, see, it's 12 sets of 12. And open a new tab. Eventually you get to a point where things just copy over. So instead of saying 3 times 8 here, that appears again later on with 8 times 3. So you really only had to know about like half of these multiplication tables. But obviously the hardest part were the squared numbers, because you can't really go back to something else. So I memorized I think it must have been in second grade, I memorized things like what 11 times 11 was, or 12 times 12. I didn't learn it by like doing the counting 12 times, which is how you're supposed to learn multiplication. I learned it through memorization, that 12 times 12 is 144. Instead of going, 12 plus 12 is 24, plus another 12 is 36, plus another 12, and so on and so forth. Yeah, dude, math tests and such are so inefficient. You have to write down the entire formula and whatnot. And if you're there, yes, oh my goodness. The whole show you're working out. Oh my goodness. To be fair, the whole showing you're working out thing is nice, in that if you do get something wrong, the teachers can at least say, well, had this guy not messed up the number, had he not like made a simple error mistake, he would have gotten the correct answer, because he had the right formula, he would have done the right thing, he was on the right track. But yeah, it is a bit annoying at times. And you can count a potato. welcome Tane, by the way, as well. The distance between most squares is the 1 plus 2n. Your hands hurt so much from math. Oh yeah, from writing out all the stuff. Wait. The distance between most squares is 1 plus 2n. So if we go from... I'm gonna get paint out here. Let me quickly... Can I not have paint? Where's window capture? There we go. So if we have 1 squared obviously is equal to 1. 2 squared would be equal to 4. 3 squared is equal to 9. But Bolter, you're saying that the difference between each of these, so this is 3. Looks like horrible there. This is 3, and this is 5. And then the difference from here to here is 2. It's 1 plus 2n. Please stop giving me math lessons. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, so 1 and 4 is 3. I promise after this little math, after we prove what Bolter is saying is correct, then we'll move on to some super auto pets. So 4 squared is 16. The difference between these is 7. Oh, and yeah, the gap is always 2. Is this true? Does it always go up though? 5 squared would be 25, which is a difference of 9. And that's also a gap of 2. Ah, so yeah, so it just always goes up by 2. I suppose that makes sense, doesn't it? Because you're adding, if you're going 1 times 1 to 2 times 2, you're just adding a 1 on each side of the multiplication sign, right? So 3 times 3 is also just plus 1 on this side, plus 1 on this side. Maybe that's where the 2 comes in. We're going to keep on going, so try 6 now. 6 squared is equal to 36, right? 36. So this would be 11. That's also a gap of 2. 7 squared is 49. And that's 13. Also a gap of 2. 8 squared. This one I also remembered off by heart because there's a rhyme. I ate and I got sick on the floor. 8 times 8 is 64. And I promise we'll move over to simple auto pets, but it's just math is fun. I promise math is fun. These engineers aren't even confident that 6 squared. Listen, I am still one of those people that will put in a calculator, like the most simplest of calculations, just to make sure that I'm not wrong. It's as an engineer, most of the time you don't even see a regular number. You're normally working with random constants and stuff like that. I have more often written calculations that don't have numbers than one that has only numbers. So this would be 15 again. That's also a gap of 2. That's true though. You can't even be sure. Is 3 minus 2 really 1? Speaking of math is fun, I'm pretty sure... I think my... if I remember correctly, my high school textbook, I think, was called Math is Fun. Actually, now that I Google it, there's a lot of math is fun stuff. But that's enough math for now. If we're going to be doing any math or any number calculations or number crunching, it should be in the game Super Auto Pets. Oh, fun math games. Oh my goodness, Laser, don't remind me. Oh, Othello. I know Othello. Wait, I know Othello, the play and also the game. 81 minus 64. Oh, wait. Does that break the sequence, Bolter? Wait, what is... That's 81 minus 64. Oh, you just wanted me to keep on going up all the numbers. This would be 8 squared. And this would be 9 squared. This is equal to 16? No, 17, sorry. But 7 squared, which is 49. And 8 squared, which is 64. That would also be 15. And again, that's a difference of 2. 17 and 15 is a difference of 2. You're pretty shit at the game, Othello, but you want to play it with people because your sister refuses to do it since you beat her once. I mean, at least you can brag about it like this, Laser. You have a 100% win rate against your sister, and she will never live it down from that. Let's play Othello chess. I know, maybe in the future, what we could do is have like a chess or Othello against like viewer stuff. Yeah, exactly as you said, Laser. I know a lot of people, they like to use chess.com. But I'm more of a fan of, leechess.org. Mainly because you don't have to have like an account for it all. And you can set it up much more easily. But yes, Bolter, there you go. You saw 81 minus 64. It did indeed prove that it is still a gap of 2. How do you play chess? Oh, have you never seen Harry Potter? You know, you just have the pieces move by themselves magically. We can do it in the future, absolutely. You're not so unreasonable that you're going to demand you don't play the pets game. I mean, I'm pretty sure... Actually, the reason why is because... let me mute this and then we can move over to the... Actually... I prefer the jazz music over the in-game music. Let me... this. But let me hide this. There's actually been an update to Super Auto Pets. The biggest one being that, I mean, for most people this won't matter much, but now, instead of having 4 lives or 4 hearts, you can see in the top left-hand corner, you have 10 hearts. Which you might think is, wow, that's a lot of chances, that's a lot of lives. The way it works is that in the first few rounds, you only lose 1 heart per loss. The next couple of rounds, you lose 2 hearts. And like in the final, or from like stage 3 onwards, you lose 3 hearts. So, in other words, losing early on is a little bit more forgiving. You know, instead of losing a quarter of your life for a single loss right at the start, you only lose a 10th. And let's have a look and see. So it's a measure to prevent people from dying very early. Exactly. Because a lot of times you could get screwed over in the early rounds by just, having bad RNG. That's why actually a lot of people, what they do is if they don't get a good set of animals at the start, what they do is they'll instantly abandon the game so that they can try and get a favorable roll. But they even countered that by saying that if people abandon a game too often or too many times in a row, you start to get put into a queue with other people who also abandon often. So there's like a loser's queue or a loser's bracket, essentially speaking. It's very interesting. Let's have a look and see. You'll just download a chess app and play the same moves as the bot match. Yeah, I mean, I know people that do that on like actual like chess websites like chess.com and stuff like that. They actually get flagged if like these websites, they can pick up if you're cheating by doing something like that. I know people always joke about doing exactly that though. The whole, what is it? Like using a different engine, using a chess engine to dictate what moves you make. And oh, Laser, you're right. I should have gone with the gushing baguettes. but instead we have the tropical firemen. A pig and a beaver. I will say there's also I've been watching some strategies for the game as well, and I found out that there's actually quite a lot going on. For example, I think in the next stage here, stage 3, we will unlock the ability of tier 2 animals appearing in the shop. But an important thing to note is that whenever you upgrade something to like level 2 or tier 2, you automatically unlock a free unit. And that unit is always going to be 1 tier higher than your current unlocked tier. So what people do is, like you can see here, we are now at turn 3, so tier 2 animals are now unlocked, and we lose 2 lives per loss instead of just 1. Okay, it doesn't happen now, but what some people do is they'll save the level up for like this turn exactly to ensure that they get a tier 3 thing right now. I've been watching so many videos, Laser. You don't understand. Like I said, this past week I've been away from my apartment, so I couldn't play this game. But I even downloaded the game on my phone, so I could play it on my phone while I was at home. That is how much I have been like into this game. You don't understand the game, Daily Doge? Oh, I suppose I should give a proper description. So essentially, it's an auto-battler game, and at any point in time, you have 5 animals like this, all lined up in a row. And they have health, here where you can see in the hearts, and attack on the left there with the fist and the number. And each round, the front 2 animals, so for me it'd be the horse on my side, and for the other person it'd be whatever is on the far left for them, they'll go up against each other. And they'll face off automatically one against the other. Their attacks will be put against each other. And it's pretty much all there is to it. It's very simple once you start playing it. You don't understand this game, you never understood auto battlers. I mean, to be fair, I never really understood them as well. That's probably why I haven't won any. But it all comes down to, you know, it's just how well can you place your units and stuff like that, or how well can you figure out the synergy and stuff like that. Because obviously you can't really control what happens in the game, so it's purely all about the setup, and after that you just have to pray and hope that your team ends up winning. Let's have a look and see though. But yeah, it's like realistic Pokemon where instead of saying, "Hey Pikachu, I choose you to like, you know, use Thundershock now," and then you know they wait off each other, it's just they keep on just going at each other like one after the other. It's like, yeah, there's no like mind games or meta games like with making them flinch or psyching them out or anything like that. I will say though, speaking of more strategic games and stuff like that, in the back, literally right now in the background, or actually no, it's done downloading. I have oh my god, Ridge, I should have closed that. The Jigsaw command is still going on. But speaking of like actual games that have a bit more strategy involved, is I've actually just finished downloading it now, but I have recently bought Age of Empires 4. It was very interesting because I checked, and Age of Empires 4 is, you know, it's a standard AAA game. It's $60, right? The full $60. But for some reason, because I live in South Africa, there's a regional discount. I had to pay about 300 Rand. So in theory, I was able to buy Age of Empires 4 for roughly what would it have been? $20, I think. And you just finished the puzzle. Congrats, Range, and also welcome, by the way. It's the first Age of Empires that hasn't worked on my Sandy Peterson. Ooh. I mean, I know people are comparing it to, you know, Age of Empires 2, which is arguably one of, if not the best one. And people are saying that it's okay. You know, it's not the best, but it's something. Yeah. I'm even rigging the stores now to give me discounts. Yeah, that too. War game Red Dragon is an interesting game that has added South Africa, but the community is Yabai, as Jupiter said. Wait, really? Wait, as in like you as a playable like country or something? War game Red Dragon. And also, I'm about to get my ass handed to me here in this next round. War game Red Dragon from April 2014. It's a real-time strategy game developed by Eugen Systems, published by Focus Home Interactive. Why would it be Yabai though? Is it Yabai purely because it has South Africa in it? That looks very interesting though. It's even on Steam. It's quite cheap as well. Ooh. Sandy Peterson is a guy who worked on Doom as well. Doom 2, Quake, AoE 1, 2, 3, the Call of Duty board game, and more. Oh my goodness, Age of Mythology 2. If I could have another Age of Mythology game, that is what I would want. Like, don't get me wrong, Age of Empires is cool because you get like the history. But what's cooler than history? Mythology. I don't wanna have Napoleon Bonaparte as my leader. I want Zeus. I want Ra as my leader in war. Oh, the community of the game is Yabai. The community is a combination of 4chan's POL and K-boards, like the Hearts of Iron 4 community. Oh, wow. That's interesting. I assume the game... I mean, if the game itself is fun, then maybe I'll have a look into it, though. Gonna punch a dweeb. Why is that, Lady Doge? Ancient rap battles of history. Having a... Actually, you know... Speaking of, you know what RTS game I really enjoyed? I forget the name of the game, but it was one where... I'm sure somebody out here must have played it. But it was one where your units are always different because there were mutations of different animals. Like you could have an elephant-lion combination and have that be your, like, a unit and stuff like that. You would research different combinations of units. RTS combine animals. Have a look and see. Impossible Creatures. That is the game. Oh my goodness. I used to play that so much. Star Wars game made an AoE 2 engine. Oh wow. I'm learning so much about the RTS games here. Let's see. South Africa, the pros, Shanahan lives there. Cons, every 10 minutes you stop being able to do anything for the next 2 minutes thanks to load shedding. Oh my goodness. I feel like you'd have to up the numbers there. It'd be more like every 5 minutes you can't do anything for 10 minutes due to load shedding. Also, like, all the government funding is like gone to corruption and all that stuff, and let's not get too involved in the South African political situation. Except the Hearts of Iron 4 community is like 10 to 15 years younger than average. Oh, wait, what? Are they really that young? And also, oh no, Ringe has redeemed the DC the stream. You know what that means, Ringe? Uh-oh. Are you gonna act as my ISP? You're gonna pull the plug on my internet? Oh no. Wait, did I have it enabled? Did I remember to have everything enabled? Or did I forget to set that up? Did I remember to do it? Or did I forget to open up all of that stuff? Maybe it's just not taking that long. Or it could just be that it's So it turns out I did have everything worked up. It's just I was on the wrong scene for it to happen. I'm as dumb as it is, I really like the DC the stream redeem that I made. It's a lot of like mimicry and things going in the background to get that thing to work. But yes, more importantly though, we need to have a Marvel the stream as one instead of DCing. But South Africa is the trollage nation in war game with anti-radar bombers and focus on speed. A focus on speed, that does not sound like the South Africa I know. Let's see. This game is kind of anti-Darkest Dungeons. It is. It's like a super friendly, fluffy version. And also you can't control anything as well. Which arguably makes it even more annoying than Darkest Dungeon. I will say though, Age of Empires 4 has finished downloading. So we might give that a look sooner rather than later. Maybe even within this stream. What is the opposite? What is the opposite of a dungeon range? Let's Google. What is the opposite of a dungeon? The opposite of a dungeon or prison. Typically underground sanctuary, refuge, asylum, or bridge. Doesn't really tell me. Yeah, so it's an attic, right? It's at the top. Oh my goodness, we are getting our ass handed to us. We haven't even gotten a single victory yet. The biggest issues is a total lack of armor and good transport healers. Oh, are you talking about South Africa? That makes a lot of sense. Oh, also, here's what I was talking about. So now we unlock tier 3 animals, but when I level up this pig, we are guaranteed to get a tier 4 animal. So hopefully we get like a monkey. Oh, we do get a monkey! I was just joking around, but we do indeed get a monkey. So, what the monkey does is it gives +2/+2 to the front unit every single turn. Now normally, you can't get this monkey until like 2 turns later on. So to get it this early is very good. Let's have a look and see. And a turtle. Ooh, actually. I know exactly what we're going to be doing. Yeah, the brightest penthouse would be the opposite of Darkest Dungeon. And hello as well, Mechanicat. I am doing very good. Hopefully you are, as well as everybody else. Let's have a look and see. So that's actually one of the nice things about the update. Like I said, I have lost many times. Like I've lost 3 times so far, but we've only lost half of our hearts thanks to the scaling of the health. Here's what I want to do. If I give this turtle a pull, what that will do is it will give the swan the melon armor permanently from now on. So now our swan is going to get nice and beefy towards the end of the game. What's really funny is that it used to be pretty much China or a Warsaw Pact versus NATO in 1995-96, but now you've got Israel, South Africa, Netherlands, Yugoslavia, and Finland as DLCs. Oh my goodness. Oh, they're DLCs. That's interesting. But, so is it just like a real, like, legitimately political game where it's just South African militia? Like, there's no fancy stuff. It's like very realistic in terms of the units and all that. You see, like right now, tier 4 animals are only unlocked now, whereas normally you would have to wait until. Whereas I got the monkey like 2 turns earlier. Let's buy a worm. Another monkey, yes, please. Ooh, in the turn, excess gold. See, for the most part, I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's why I said I really liked Age of Mythology, or like the Mystic Creature game, the one where you can have different animals combined. It's the wackiness of the RTS. I'm not really too into the super realistic stuff of, you know, real war and stuff like that. As fun as it is. The worst part about most diplomacy games is that There's no covert option victory condition. Covert operation victory condition. As in, like, it always has to be, like, destroying the other side. If some fuzzing on some units, like the Yugoslavians have a busted stealth tank Recon M84. The Russians have optical AA that downs supersonic. Oh, yes, like diplomatic victory is like the one go-to. I know what you mean, Laser. And I'm curious then, Bolter, what is South Africa's specialty? I suppose you said they're the speedy ones, right? So I guess that answers that. But I'm just imagining, like, what would my country's specialty be? Because I can't think of many things that we would specialize in. Let's see. Ooh. South Africa's specialty is trolling. Oh, really? So we're just the annoying. We're just the annoying nationality. That I'm honestly not even surprised. What you want is a victory condition where you fill another country's government with your own puppets. Oh, Lays, I see what you mean. Like, so in other words, a literal real life victory where, like, espionage and stuff like that. Let's see. Definitely do that to the worm. Did I not? Oh, I forgot to freeze the hippo. I'm a fool. Ooh. I'll take that though. I'll gladly take that. We had a hippo that I could have frozen. But let's see. South Africa gets the cheapest effective anti-radar unit in the game. Oh my goodness. So they can like fly by undetected and stuff like that. And just annoy people. Coupled with a good fighter. And it's even better is the anti-radar bombs can be used in dumbfire mode where they act like 1,000-kilogram missiles. Instead of winning through military domination. Yeah, exactly. It's like I said, like real life. Just have people infiltrate the country. Okay, I think we have one life left now, so things are gonna get a bit dicey. Let's have a look and see. Can we now do this? Can you tell that your favorite Civ 5? Okay, yeah, definitely. The sounds very similar to cultural victories from Civ 5. Yeah, the one where you don't think, like, you can't really tell that you're winning because, you know, it's not you don't have a dominant army that's just destroying the other team, but then all of a sudden, oh, actually, because we have like half of your government is controlled by us, we are now going to turn you inside out by like passing laws that screw you over and stuff like that. It's not undetected necessarily. It can be detected easily, but it has better ECM than some planes, and its weapons specifically home in on radar AA units. Something similar is the hacker faction in Endless Phase 2, but it's not really the same. Let's see. Yeah, the Swan did do a lot of work there, Ringe. Let's have a look see. Ooh, another canned food. Let's see. Let's... I'm not really feeling the kangaroo right now. So let's sell that. I really wish I had bought that hippo when it showed up. But alas. Ooh, another melon armor would be nice. Oh, a tiger and the snake would actually be very good. You never played any of those games? So you're in like Hearts of Iron, Victoria, all that stuff. Ooh, this looks a bit... Oh no! Actually no, I think we win this. The Swan is indeed going to be putting in a lot of work here. the swan and the worm. Let's see. Speaking of swan, let's upgrade this. And another tiger. Let's do this. Let's sell the bunny. Upgrade our tiger. Don't. They're awful time sinks and end up with nonsensical history. I mean, isn't that most RTS games? Oh my goodness, that's a very strong fish. But I think... Ooh... Wait! The snake actually saved us by killing the camel. Woo! Let's have a look and see. Let's hope that the pizza goes in the snake. Oh, never mind. It doesn't go in the worm. Oh. Oh, another snake. Okay. Oh my goodness. If we... Another snake and a tiger as well. Oh my goodness. If we could just make it to this next round. I hope that our team is strong enough though for the next round. Because if we lose the next round, we're out. But we have everything set up perfect. We have another snake. We have another tiger. Oh. Yeah, nothing like Austria-Hungary existing past expiration date. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I suppose that they're still like available in the game because outdated. It'd be funny. It'd be funny to have a. Oh my goodness, that's a very strong looking rooster. I think we might still win though. There's 3 of them, holy shit! I think we've just lost. We were so close as well. As Laser said, so close to victory, but so close to a loss as well. We got 7 wins though, so we were close. But I was saying that it'd be cool to have a historical RTS that is very up to date. Like, imagine if, like it was up to date with the current like military powers of the world. So you know, like let's say there's a war going on between America and who are they always at war with? Like Iraq or something, or Afghanistan. If suddenly they like nuke out the other one. Then in the game they update and be like, oh well, America now has nukes and America now gains bonus attack against Iraq and stuff like that because of real life implications. Let's actually look and see what we can customize. We haven't done that. Let's buy some hats. I know. It's about to become Christmas time, so is there not like a Santa hat? Ah, there is a Santa hat. Oh, but we need some more points. Let's sort it up. Afghanistan sandbox. Wait, is that it? Are you talking about like an actual game? It would be cool to have a game like that though. Oh, you mean like in real life? Yeah, I know they did say that they pulled out from Afghanistan, I think. But again, I'm not really up to date with American politics and the war situations going on there. Thank you, Azon, by the way, Escalon, for letting me take a sip of water. It was an utter mess? Do tell more, Bolter. I'm very curious about this now. Like I said, oh my goodness, this is a horrible role to have here. But like I said earlier, my knowledge on like political happenings or the world around me are actually very misinformed. Like I know close to nothing. Like even my own country, I don't know anything about like our politics. That's why I had to ask you what our specialty would be in that game, because I wouldn't know myself. For example, like was it last week or 2 weeks ago? There was voting day in South Africa. Obviously, you would vote for, you know, what party and stuff like that. I didn't vote. In fact, I'm not even registered to vote. Because one, I don't know enough about politics to know who I would want to vote for. But more, that's the official reason, I would say. But the funnier reason, the real reason, is that 3 years ago, when we were meant to register to vote, I was at university, and we had to go to the town hall to register for voting, seeing as though I was now of age. And I went there, but the issue was that you had to have a form of ID, or no, not a form of ID. You had to have your ID, like your issued ID, to prove or to register. I did not have my ID on me. I had my driver's license, which wasn't valid though. You had to have your actual ID on you. And my ID was still back at home. And I was living on campus. So I was like, well, unfortunately, it looks like I can't register then. And so I never went back to register again. But that's the reason why, essentially. Looking at these names though, Miffed Muffins. We're going to go for that alliteration. Hopefully that'll help us. So the pullouts had a due date of May this year, but it got delayed to 9/11. Hey, 9/11. For ceremonial reasons, the presidency changed hands. The end result was a total takeover of the country while we weren't even preparing to leave. Billions of dollars of equipment were left behind. I know that there was when that did happen, I know there was a big hubbub about it on the news and all that stuff. That's why I knew that something happened. I just didn't know what exactly. And somehow we got a victory off of that. Let's see. Let's buy another cricket. And let's buy a beaver. Okay, you'll see what I mean now again with the strategy of trying to unlock an early high tier unit. I'm going to freeze this cricket for now. And I shall sell that and buy a pig. Yeah, that should be fine. So hopefully we can win this one. And then on the next turn, tier 2 animals will be unlocked. But by combining those crickets on the next turn, we will be given a tier 3 animal. And how the heck does this guy have such a huge fish? 7/7. Oh my goodness. Hopefully we can... Oh no, we're losing this. We're absolutely losing this. Thankfully though, we only lose 1 heart. Because it's so early. So it's not that bad. But now, let's hope we get something nice. We get a turtle. Turtle is not that bad. Let's see. We could have had something better. But who knows, maybe when the tier 3 animals are unlocked, we can hope for another early monkey. Because that really helped us out in the previous round. Ooh. Are we gonna get... This guy got way luckier with his thing. That ox that just steamrolled us was also a tier 3 animal. So he got that thanks to the early strategy. Let's see. Buy the ant. Another cricket, my goodness. Oh, I really hope we can start getting some better animals in the next round. Because it is not looking very good so far. The Miffed Muffins are getting a bit miffed off here. And this should kill. Do we... Okay, yeah, we are going to kill the horse. So it's a tie at least. A draw. Tier 3 animals are now unlocked. None of these are good though. The ox. Ox is a very good one. These are all actually very good. Let's see. Let's sell the pig. And the cricket isn't really doing much for us as well. All of these are actually like all of these tier 3 animals are really good. The ox. Let's put that up here. Kangaroo is also very good. And what else is there? I'll say the turtle for now. And let's give the kangaroo the garlic armor. Another ox. Won't say no to that. And let's see how this goes. Ooh. Are we going to win this? I don't know if we will. Oh no, we should win this, I think, because we're gonna kill the dog, and yes, the kangaroo will take over then. Whew. It's always hard to tell. Like, it's hard to judge right at the start when you see the. That's I think the reason why auto battlers are so hard to judge. Like, if you just see the lineup right at the start, you don't actually know who's gonna win or who's not gonna lose. Let's do that. Another ox, yes, please. Turtle, turtle house, small turtle house. I mean, the turtle will. I mean, just look at that smile on the turtle's face. It looks so happy. Let's see. The beaver at the back is is definitely the weakest link right now, but I'm saving it to try and hopefully get one of those plays, if you know what I mean, the unlocking a high thing early on. It's a bit risky though, keeping such a weak animal on our team, but we'll see. Hopefully it pays off. It might actually. Then this should kill. Okay, yes. Just having it there. It hasn't had to attack once. I think in this next round we unlock a new tier. Yes. So tier 4 animals are unlocked, but we should get a tier 5 animal when we combine this. Copy ability from the pet ahead as level 1 until the end of battle. I mean, it's not the greatest actually. Sell this for now. What we can do though is we can put it behind the ant. And that way when the ant... So this will also give +2 attack and +1 health when it dies as well. Kangaroo. Another ox. And that should be it. Ooh. This could be dangerous. This could be very dangerous. This ox is gonna sweep us, I think. He has 2 oxes as well. Things are not looking too good here. Especially because of how much this ox is powering up. Wait, actually. Whoa, we somehow won that? I don't know how, but I guess we won. A monkey. Ooh, It's a bit late to be using a monkey right now. Plus, nothing here is really good to buff something up. so difficult. Monkey parrot. The thing is, the parrot says at the end of the turn, copy the ability from the pet ahead, but will that work though? Because I don't know if this will only go into the next one. Plus also, none of these animals right here are good to like buff up. Like, I think the way it'll work is at the end of the turn, the monkey will buff the animal in front up, and then the parrot will copy the monkey's ability, but it won't actually use it, if you know what I mean. Here's what I want to do though. Plus, also, I think it's a bit late in the game to try and start using a monkey now, because the monkey's all about, you know, ramping up the damage and stacking stuff. Another ox, my goodness. There we go. That's actually what I wanted, a turtle. Because when you have a turtle level 2, when it faints, it gives the 2 creatures behind it. So it'll give 2 creatures melon armor. And that's the entire reason I've been saving a turtle. I'll be honest, our team doesn't really look too strong. Our team has a lot of weak people. To be fair, this person also looks like they have quite weak animals. I will say that... I think I'm still gonna survive this though. I mean, actually somehow even win it. Okay, right off the bat, the camel isn't really doing us much help. I'll admit it. So what I'll do is I'll sell the camel and buy a mammoth. Let's have a look and see. A shark, crocodile. I think we should be fine. I want to get rid of the ant and the turtle. But the question is how. Ooh, that kangaroo is going to get very strong. That kangaroo is going to get very strong. I'm probably going to lose, actually, now that I think about it, to that kangaroo. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I guess I spoke too soon. We are somehow still winning. Even though, like, these aren't exactly the strongest thing ever. Oh. Buy a tier 1 pet, give all friends +1/+1. I don't really have space for tier 1 pets right now. As much as I want to use the monkey, it's so tempting. There's another ox as well. The melon armor is buying me so much time though, which is very nice. Oh. That summons a bus that does a lot of damage. I think now we're finally gonna get swept, maybe? Oh yeah, we're absolutely gonna get swept now. Wait, no, it's a tie! Again, somehow. We're cutting the line. Alright, tier 6 animals now unlocked. But first, upgrade the ox once more. Okay. I have to think this out very carefully now. If I sleeping pull the turtle, it gives both the kangaroo and the mammoth melon armor, which means that they are protected for 20 damage one time. But then I'll have 6 gold left, which means that I can buy a snake and put that behind the kangaroo then. Okay, that's fine. Is it fine? Oh, yes, it's fine. Some master strategization going on here now. So we put the ox in front of the mammoth. So in theory, all 3 of these will have melon armor because the ox gets melon armor when the mammoth dies. Then we put the snake behind here at the back. And we'll freeze the cow for now. Next turn, I will pull the ant so that something gets +2 attack and 1 heart, and replace it with something else. Maybe a sheep. I might replace it with a sheep. A tiger, though, is also very good to put behind the snake. Ooh. Decisions, my goodness. I mean, we still have quite a bit of health. We have 3 more losses available for us. So we'll see how things pan out. This guy's also using a turtle. Why did I pronounce it so weirdly? Let's see. Oh. I think I should be fine, right? Oh my goodness. Alright, snake, do your thing. Kill them all. Oh my goodness. No. Wait, actually. Oh, if only the snake had killed the ox earlier. Alright, it's fine. 1 loss is fine. But now we get to use this chance to kill our ant. And let's see. First buy the cow, because what that'll do is that'll give us some... Wait, hang on. I have 9 gold, so I can give experience to the snake. Because when the snake is at level 2, it'll do 10 damage. Buy the cow for now, because that means I can have milk. And I can beef up... Do I want to beef up the kangaroo or the ox? Thing is, if I beef up the ox, that means that the kangaroo... By beefing up the ox, it'll last longer, getting more attacks in, meaning the kangaroo can beef up more, which means that the snake can do more. Yeah, I think the ox is the way to go. I hope I'm not making a mistake. Then I can sell the cow, replace it with a tiger, so that now every time the kangaroo attacks, the snake acts twice. And let's see. Speaking of, this should be good. The next turn I can upgrade the snake, or maybe even the mammoth even. We'll have to look and see. Oh, that's a big dog. What the dog doing? The dog's gonna mess me up. Oh goodness. Oh my goodness, the snake is doing so much damage. Oh. This guy's like the spawn camping, or like the Zerg rush, I suppose. Look at all these summons. Look at the dog. What the dog doing? I mean, to be fair, my kangaroo is getting quite beefy. Oh my goodness. There's no way. Please hit the dog. Wait. No, wait. This actually ties. It ties. Oh. Thanks to the snake getting rid of like the armor and stuff like that, it actually worked out in the end. Whew. My life flashed before my eyes there. Alright, let's have a look and see. The snake absolutely deserves XP. And the tiger as well. Actually, wait. What does the tiger do when it's level 2? Does it make the snake attack 3 times? Tiger Super Auto Pets. Is there like a Tiger or a Super Auto Pets wiki? What does the Tiger level 2 do? Super Auto Pets. It doesn't say anything. We'll find out. We'll find out ourselves. Hopefully we can make it that far to figure it out though. The question is though, we can give something +2/+2. Let's upgrade our mammoth a bit. The ability does not upgrade with levels. Oh, I see. It even says does not upgrade when leveling the tiger. Thanks for pointing that out, Grank. It's actually, I should read more, I suppose. So it would only just increase its attack and health. So it's not really a priority. This is why I have the backseating allowed tag on the stream. Because I'm a big dum-dum instead. For now, I'll give the kangaroo... Here's the thing. If I give the kangaroo the upgrade with itself, it'll get +1/+1, but that's it. And it won't even upgrade its level. So for now, I'll give it a pair. Or do I give the ox the pair? Ooh. I'll give the ox the pair. I'll give it to the kangaroo. Decisions. Get some garlic. So let's have a look and see. I was scared of that dog. I'm scared of this. What is that? The buffalo as well now. Woo! Actually, no, this should kill. We'll trade off. The rooster, though, with the tiger. Oh no, the tiger's no more. Haha. Wait. Yes! The snake and the tiger combination actually worked perfectly well. Because I think if his tiger didn't get killed, that rooster would have spawned 2, right? You're right, the snake is indeed too powerful. It's a snake and the tiger, that's the reason. Effectively, yeah, I get to do 20 damage. 10 to each thing. Which is a lot. Let's see. Let's give the garlic to this. Actually, I want to give the garlic to both these. Normally, whenever I see people like winning, it's always because they have like something with 50 attack and 50 health, and you know, it's super beefy. But somehow we're actually managing. Ooh, that's a very strong bus. That shark is gonna get... hopefully we can snipe the shark with our snake. That is a very strong... Those are very strong little birdies. I mean, we have 1 life left. So we're on our last straws here. Let's see. I mean, all we can really do now is just buff up and hope, right? No. We can get like another kangaroo or another mammoth. That'd be perfect for us. Ooh, but we aren't getting anything like that. Alright, I guess we just hope and pray then. As we go into the next round. Oh, wait. Wait, that's a very strong scorpion. The scorpion, what it does is... it just kills anything, guaranteed. Thankfully, though, the melon armor protected us, but I don't know... the monkey has been buffing this team up a lot by the looks of things. Once again, I think this is the exact same point we lost last time with 7 wins. So close, yet so far. This is why the game is so addicting as well. The fact that you can always get so close. But more importantly though, I think we can buy. The most important thing, seeing as though it's November, only a couple of more weeks until good old Christmas time. But what better way to celebrate than buying a Santa hat? This is the buff we need, surely speaking. Now that all of our animals are kitted out with a Santa hat, maybe now this is the motivation we need to win. At least I hope it is. Ooh, a lot of, I mean, edible soup, but that seems a bit too on the nose. How about sniffing truckers? Imagine the smell of truckers. Mmm. The musky scent. Alright, the sniffing truckers versus the storming pieces. And just like that, the first one, it's the power of the sniffing truckers, baby. And, oh my goodness. I'll gladly take some otters. The guaranteed early thing when we upgrade in the next round. Let's see. Can we keep the streak going? I think we tie this. Or is our fish gonna clean up shop here? The untouched bananas. Can I touch your banana, please? Good sir. Good old kangaroo again. Yeah, consider those bananas touched. The dodo is quite good, I think. I was always confused. The way the dodo works, I think, is it gives its own attack to the character in front. So effectively, you like double up your attack. So right now, it's nothing much. It'll only give 1 attack, but as it levels up, the dodo can empower quite a bit. Like here you'll see the kangaroo will get 1 attack. So it'll go up to 3/3. And oh, do we win this? We do. And ooh. More importantly, when the dodo gets to level 2, it gives double the attack. Hopefully we can get there though. There. Because then you can get some very, very strong creatures. Ooh. Why does he have melon armor on the dog already? Must have been some shenanigans going on there. I think we might actually lose because of that melon armor. Yeah, the melon armor is what saved him. Oh, you lucky bastard, you. But let's have a look and see. Ooh. Alright. That's not really that great, is it? Let's sell the fish for now and buy a turtle. Tweetle. And I think we have to sell the otter sooner rather than later. And hello, Balthazar321. I'm not sure what exactly that says. Unfortunately, we speak English here. Actually, Google. Is that one of those things where it's a regular phrase, but it just has stuff laid over it? Like, you know, the cursed letters and stuff like that. Ooh. Do we tie this? I think we tie this, yes. Another otter, my goodness. Let's see. So here's the idea. The giraffe will... It'll be a slowly ramping thing where the giraffe will buff the dodo in turn buffs the kangaroo. If I can get the camel behind or in front of the kangaroo, that would be ideal. Question is though, I want to first get a pill so I can kill this turtle. So I can give like melon armor to the dodo or something, or the kangaroo rather. Speaking of, actually wait. I can end up doing the same thing, the kangaroo ox combo. Oh. How do I want to go about doing this? Do I want to keep this one? I shall... If I sell this one and I buy the camel, and then I give the pill to the turtle, it's too difficult. My mind... I can't make up my mind. I'll wait a bit. See if we get anything better. Oh my goodness. Maybe I shouldn't invest that much. Screw it. I won't get like any new animals next round, but we'll see. I think if I'm not mistaken, we unlock a new tier as well, so that might work a bit better. Oh, this guy's also doing the same thing. Giving the a buff to the dodo. We lose this one, but hopefully we can come back a bit better in the next one. Still two more. Okay, so tier 4 animals are now unlocked, but what tier 5 do we get? A parrot. Oh my goodness. Is this... What is it? What? Alright, time to Google. Let's look up the strategies. The game strategies. Super Auto Pets Parrot Synergy. What is a good parrot combo? I've never used the parrot before. People are saying parrot rooster. It's always parrot rooster. Parrots just have 5 parrots. They just copy each other the whole time. Let's see. Let me try something. I'll sell this one. I shall give a sleeping pill to this guy. I think if the parrot copies the kangaroo, that might be a play. These are all very low numbers, so I'm hoping that they can ramp up during the match. only dogs. The dogs, if I'm not mistaken, the dogs... what is it? The dog ability is that it gains attack or defense every time something is spawned, I think. Oh, this is great. This is letting me buff up a lot. We might actually win this. Oh yeah, we win this easily. The parrot has low health. That's the only issue I'm noticing now. We have a lot of wins to go though. Let's see. Oh, there's the monkey. Do we buy it now? It's so late in the game though. Sure. Why not? I should have bought the food. It's fine. Wait. Let's try this out. Just this one time. If the parrot does copy the monkey, let's see. I'm pretty sure it won't. But let's just try it out. Yeah. See, it copies the ability, but it doesn't actually perform it. Ooh. This looks to be... This is going to be very dangerous. I think we lose this one. We absolutely lose this. They didn't even make it through like the third half of their team. Or the second half of their team. Third half, what am I talking about? Alright, that was a good experiment though. Now we know, I suppose. I think we have a mishmash of like a team that doesn't really do much. So I won't be surprised if we lose this next round as well. And there goes our parrot almost immediately. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna lose this. Yep. Well then, 4 wins only. That was quite the disgrace. You know what, I think we'll do one more. And then after that, seeing as it's finally finished downloading, maybe we'll start up a bit of, oh my goodness, a bit of Age of Empires 4. At least try a little bit of it. But I cannot get these names, Wet and Gushing. Oh, do we want to be Wet and Gushing Gems, Rangers, or Presidents? Oh my goodness. I feel like Rangers probably be the best out of the nouns, but are we wet or are we gushing? I think we're gushing Rangers, that's what we are, right? And we even have a fish as well. Gushing Presidents could have also been a very good one. Just gushing anything would have worked well. And right like that, we have our first one as well. But yes, the fish as well. It just works. And let's see. We're guaranteed to get something early by combining the 3 ants. Hopefully we get a good tier 3 animal. Oh, this could be bad. This could be very bad. Actually, no. Oh, we tie. You're kind of getting antsy about the world. Well, we'll see later. The ants are gonna combine now shortly to form the mega ant. And Blowfish deals 2 damage to random enemy when it's hurt. Fine. Let's sell this. And let's buy both of these. A peacock might be nice. Ooh, 2 peacocks. Even better. Yes, the power of the rat leading us in the front there. Only issue though is I think when it's powerful, but when it dies, it summons a 1/1 ant for them, which is a little bit bad. So you see, they get 1 extra attack or 1 extra unit. Okay, thankfully they had a badger, because if not, they would have actually won, because I summoned them an extra unit at the end there. So the rat, while it may be strong, is a bit of a liability. So let me sell it, and I'll buy 2 peacocks. Let me do this. Ah, another swan. So the peacock, what it wants to do is it wants to get hurt a lot, because every time it gets hurt, it increases its attack damage by 2. That's why it has so much health, well, relatively speaking, so much health but so little attack damage. Hopefully though it works out. Like it'll actually survive to make use of it. But it won't last long, it looks like. Oh. There we go. Tier 3 animals are now unlocked. Speaking of tier 3 animals, can we get another early monkey? No, we get a skunk instead. Let's kill this flamingo. And buy a skunk. I'm tempted now to also buy another dodo again. But I think no. I'll save it instead. And I'll give garlic to the peacock. Make it take less damage. What the garlic does is essentially every single time it takes damage, it takes 2 less damage. So it should be good for now, unless I go up against a big ass elephant. Should be fine, I think. Ooh, his peacock is getting pretty strong though. His peacock is getting very strong. Okay. Ooh. Welcome back, Doge. Let's see. Ox, friendhead paints. Let's keep on upgrading this peacock, I think, for now. The kangaroo, the good old kangaroo. Kangaroo and the camel are both nice. Let's buy the kangaroo. Say the peacock without the you mean the cock? I mean, isn't there? I know there's a meme of you get a buff cock, a big cock. It's a strategy. Ooh, we're gonna trade the rat versus the peacock. Thankfully, the kangaroo can sweep. The leaking fusspots versus the gushing rangers. What a combination of people. Tier 4 animals are now unlocked. Like that. The kangaroo. Ooh. That is very nice. Yeah, the kangaroo definitely helped us a lot there. Ooh, okay. So there's, in theory, I could have an elephant that before it attacks, it does 1 damage to the character behind it, which could do damage to the camel, which every time it takes damage, it gives the character behind it +1 and +2. In theory, I could give the peacock a lot of health and attack. Should I so choose? So we might be able to try that out. Ooh, that's a very strong ox. 8 and 11, or 8 and 7 now. Ooh, that's getting scary. Do we trade now? Yes, we trade. The Bear Housewives. That's a first draw for a while. Let's have a look and see. Oh, let's sell our skunk. Do we buy the elephant or the camel though? That is the question. The camel, every time it's hurt, it gives the character behind it +1. I think we have to go with the camel. Because if we go with the elephant, we guarantee that the peacock gains +4 attack every time this thing attacks. But the problem is, it's going to start dying, which I don't want to happen. So let's put the camel out front. And I can give something +4/+4. Let's give it to the peacock. Well, let's give 1 to the peacock, 1 to the camel. Spread the buffs out a bit. And hopefully this is enough. What does freeze? Though the freezing, what it does is it means that whatever item that was, it'll be there for the next round. And oh my goodness, this guy has a level 2 monkey that is going to be buffing his team up a lot. So we are probably going to be losing here. Mainly because every time the round ends, you get 10 gold. Every time, no matter what. And you can use that 10 gold however you so please. You can either buy items or animals for 3 gold. It's always 3 gold no matter what. Or you can reroll, which is 1 gold. The problem is though that the gold doesn't carry over. So if I were to save this 8 gold, it gets wiped no matter what at the end of the turn. So you want to like use up all your gold and save it for, or use up all your gold between rounds, ideally. Let's sell this blow. Sell the kangaroo actually. Or do I sell the? It's the crab, aka the cunny. There's a lot of health. Leopard looks kind of cool. Deal 50% attack damage, so effectively 6 damage to a random enemy. Let's sell the kangaroo for now. And buy the peacock. And the leopard. Ooh, listen to it purr. Oh my goodness, he also has a kangaroo. Let's see, maybe we can snipe it with the leopard. Okay, no. Okay, no, we're gonna lose. Damn it, it's so close. The worm is also quite strong. You imagine in late games balls get so broke. Yeah, exactly, that's the thing. The 50-50 stuff. Or like 50 health, 50 damage. That's where things get scary. Speaking of scary though, a hippo can be very scary. Because what a hippo can do is every time it knocks out something, it gets +2 attack, +2 health. And yes, hippos are scary just in real life as well. Have you seen their jaws? How they can like open up so wide and like they have like insane crushing strength as well. I kind of want to keep this. Let me sell the camel. And let me buy the scorpion. The scorpion, what it does is anything it attacks, it kills. So it's very weak. It's only 7/7, but it's almost guaranteed to kill something unless it has melon armor. But I'm willing to bet that this... Oh, I might get a lot of mileage out of that scorpion. We'll see. Your sister... Are you calling your sister a hippo, Daily Doge? My goodness. But yeah, even tigers avoid hippos. Because, I mean, if you see a hippo, you know how scary it is. And oh my goodness, we're about to get killed hard here. This hippo's gonna sweep everything. Oh, never mind. But now oxes. Oh. See, he had a monkey as well. Ah. Let's see. You know what? Let's sell this one now. A gorilla. Every time it gets hurt, it gains a coconut shield. It ignores damage once. This is our last life here, so we have to pray that we work now. How do they keep having a brother? They also have a strong hippo. Things are not looking good. Wait, actually, the scorpion's gonna one-hit KO the hippo though. The scorpion just saved us. And I mean, yeah, as Laser says, if Daily Doge's sisters are hippos and his brothers are monkeys, he is indeed a dog. I mean, he is not just a dog, he is the Daily Doge, to be specific. Alright, we somehow made it through that with the skin of our teeth. The worm is nice, but it's a bit late to use it now, I think. I think I might sell the leopard in the next round. Or the worm. The Swedish word for scorpion is skorpion. Or I assume you would pronounce it differently though, right? Or the scorpion. Ooh. Oh, that shark is gonna get very strong. Oh. That shark is getting very strong. Oh, I mean, yeah, like you see, 42 damage. I think it's because of the tiger as well. You pronounce it slightly differently, but yes. Ah, okay, I see. You know, I just want to have one more round. I just want to make it to 6 wins at least. At least 6 wins, you know, win majority of the games. I have faith that I can do it. Again, this is why the game is so, like, addicting to me at least. The fact that you can just, like, instantly go back into another one. And thank you for following as well. Lesh Konpan. I think I pronounced it correctly. Lesh Konpan. If I am mispronouncing it, please let me know how to properly pronounce it though. Let's see. What are we? The running scallywags? Or the shy scallywags, as Daily Doge asks. The shy little... Oh, go for the alliteration as well. Alliteration is always important in your team names. Let's see. Milk compound. Oh, is lesh another word for milk or something? Laser. We have almost the exact same team, essentially. Yeah, we do have essentially the exact same team. Starting out with a draw, that should be fine, I think. And... ooh. combine these. Netherlands is like, yes, you invented freedom. Is it fair that whenever you argue with Americans and they talk about their freedom, you said the only reason they have it is because you're Dutch? I mean, yeah, like, isn't the whole point... America was discovered, right, by, like, a different... Who was it? Yeah, it's the Dutch. What is his name? Who discovered America? Columbus? But, like, even then... isn't, like, it, like, super controversial about how Columbus found America? Dutch city planning is insanely good. Too bad Amsterdam exists though. Amsterdamster, sorry. Tier 2 animals are now unlocked. Ooh. Okay. And let's... Ooh. Let's see, that should be fine. The Vikings technically got the first to America. I suppose so, yeah. But isn't like the whole... I know that there's like a whole controversy about the Columbus and American, you know, finding the place. You know, did he really find the... I mean, it's very topical we're talking about this because isn't Thanksgiving Day coming up, and Thanksgiving is all about... Thanksgiving is about, you know, the discovery of America, isn't it? And, ooh, speaking of, we're about to lose here. But also welcome, hello, Stefika. Coming in here, dropping some knowledge about the Vikings. Half the city reeks of Juana? Is that weed? Oh, yeah, Amsterdam, weed, most likely. The other half is the red light district. I mean, that's all I really know about Amsterdam myself anyway, so you're not wrong. Let's see. Let's give that some help. Every Dutch person you've spoken to either lives in Amsterdam or really doesn't like Amsterdam. There's no in between. Thanksgiving is about, oh shit, we almost ran out of food, so you eat like a hog. I mean, yeah, isn't it? I always see, you know, the big stuffed turkeys and whatnot. Sheep. Could have something better. Look, Amsterdam is the only thing dragging us down from being the best country. But yeah, Dutch city planning is legit very good, especially in terms of transport infrastructure, roads, bicycle roads. Yeah, isn't a whole big thing is that there's a lot of cyclists in Amsterdam or in Netherlands because... Wait, I feel like I've watched a Tom Scott documentary or video about like the rideshare or like some bridge or something in the Netherlands. Now I have to look it up. YouTube. Netherlands cycling. It was some YouTube video about how people can, at the one end of the tunnel, they can rent a bicycle and then they drive across or something like that. I think it was something about like one of the biggest bridges or something. Was it a Tom Scott video or was it just something I randomly stumbled upon? The frictional bridges that became real? No. All I know is that there was at one point a video recommended to me about bridges and cycling in the Netherlands, and I watched the entire like 10-20 minutes of it. If you could, you would literally nuke Amsterdam. Columbus is a crapshoot who slept with a manatee thinking it was a mermaid. Wait, what? Is this like a folk story, or is this real? If so, that is very interesting, Stefika. How do you even confuse a manatee for a mermaid? I suppose maybe if you're out for sea for so long, you know, any hole is a goal, am I right? Let's see. And, oh, a deer. Oh, dear, a deer. To be fair, I can't speak much about the Dutch because they are the ones who colonized my country after all. Good old what was his name? Dutchman who colonized South Africa. What was his name again? I forget. Jan van Riebeeck. That was the one who colonized our country. Would I consider myself good at this game? Imchom, no, I would not. I have yet to win a single game, like, you know, getting all 10 crowns. The closest I've gotten, I think, is 7 crowns. So I am by no means good at this game. Hence why I have the backseating allowed tag enabled on the stream. So please, if you have any tips and you want to berate me for my horrible choices, do so. Let's see. I know having a whale behind the deer is good. I want to try and get a pull? A pull? And ox in. A camel or a kangaroo? Which one would I want? Or the camel for now. We're fine. But yeah, Imchom. Oh, I think it's Imchom, right? If I'm mispronouncing it, please correct me. But Imchom, I am by no means good at this game. But let's see, what is Laser saying? If you upload a video with Netherlands in it, the whole comment section would be people speaking Dutch. I mean, it's one of those things, you know, where I know the Filipino community has the same thing where it's just, if you see something similar, it's like, oh, that's me, that's my people, let me speak and stuff like that. And also, thank you for following, Stefika. But yeah, like Laser said, you can say it about most countries that don't get much time in the limelight. Actually, okay, I'll say it in a bit, but let me just catch up on what everybody's been saying. He wrote about it in his journals. He said it was a bit too manly in appearance for him. Oh, about Christopher Columbus and the manatee. I mean, it is called a manatee, right? So, I mean, that's his fault. But yeah, especially, like, as it says, if you mention anything about Latin America, your comments can be full of Latin Americans and so on and so forth. Oh, you live in a country that is colonized by your home country. Oh, Suriname. I always have to like double check and like, oh, is it surname? No, it's Suriname. Was interested to find a South African on Twitch live. Only South Africans you talk to are your parents nowadays. Oh, that's very interesting, Stefika. I was also surprised at how many like South African people I find. Like, I think it's the big issue is that I know the Twitch servers are very bad for South Africans. Like I'm using a restream like a proxy service or a relay server. That's the word, a relay server. Because I know if I were to use the default Twitch servers, the stream would not, there wouldn't be a stream. It'd be too choppy. That or Esca would cut my power. But mention Coquito and you will get countless Boricuas. Mention anything Brazilian and you'll get countless Brasileiros, etc. To their credit, there's a lot of Latin American shit that is underappreciated. Yeah, I mean, was it the YouTube Rewind the one time? Or like there was the one time YouTube had that video of the top 10 like videos or like the top 10 music videos worldwide. And you know, for English speakers, you think, oh, you know, it'd be things like this video or this video. But it turned out a lot of like a decent chunk of the top videos were, you know, Spanish or Latin American and stuff like that. And that's when people realized, oh wow, there's actually a really big community for them. Feminists won't like that one. About the manatee and a man. I mean, it's literally in the name. You're putting JP in your video titles to get a bunch of confused Japanese weeps on it. Actually, Bolter, here's a little secret. Don't just put brackets JP in your video title. If you can, on YouTube, there's an option where you can input alternate language titles and descriptions for your video. So I don't know if you've seen the video of the knife guy, the guy that makes knives out of nothing, or like, you know, like smoke or stuff like that. His videos, he's technically speaking Korean. All his videos are Korean, I think. But what he does is he has alternate titles for different regions. So he has English titles as well. And that is the only reason why you would be recommended them. So that's a little tip. Instead of putting JP in your, if I'm assuming YouTube titles, if you have Japanese actual titles that can appear to them, then that'll help out so much more. Because that's the only way they would get recommended, right? Because otherwise, why would an English video be recommended to a Japanese person in Japanese YouTube unless it had a Japanese title. But that's just me rambling on about something like that, because it's actually happened to me before, where I had a silly little video on YouTube on a different account that didn't have like many views or whatever. The moment I changed or I added a Japanese title to it, like a couple of weeks later, it somehow got picked up by the algorithm, and I was like, oh wow, that's a little bit of knowledge that can stick in my head now. Most Latin American places are hellholes, and unfortunately that dissuades people from appreciating the cool shit. Yeah, exactly. Yes, especially the culinary food they have. It's so cool. And like just in general, like the Latin American cultural stuff, like the festivals and all that stuff. But yes, I think just the fact that, you know, the third world countries and they get a bad rap. I apologize, Daily Doge. I should be calling them, or what is it? The MXN-ity, you know, replacing the man with the X. The MXN-ity. And oh, Boricua is from Puerto Rico. Oh, I would have just assumed it would have been Puerto Rican. Latino internet is big, and yes, exactly. Like I said, technically speaking, Despacito is, you know, part of the Latin American stuff. If you want to see a tiny glimpse of the size of Latin American internet, look into Latin American. Oh my goodness, yes, the fighting game scene. Oh, like I remember it was a big thing when I think somebody from Latin America, or no, I think at EVO recently, at one of the big fighting game tournaments, they had a dedicated Latin American, like, separate region where they would all play against each other. And I don't know if that was praised or ridiculed or criticized. I can't remember, but I know it was a big thing. It was newsworthy. The fact that they had their own, like, division, essentially. But yeah, every fighting game has Brazilian tournaments, no matter how obscure. I know, isn't Skullgirls, I know, has a big one there. That's interesting, getting picked up in the small markets for having titles in different languages. Yes, exactly. But hello, Bunzel. Hello as well, Bunzel. Like I said, the video I had, the moment I added Japanese, especially because I don't want to give away what the video was, but it was a video that, in hindsight, would have definitely appealed to a Japanese audience more than the English audience. So definitely it would have improved the results. You hate Brazil for using North American servers, for ruining the ping. And you know, Laser, I will agree that Skullgirls, I feel like, isn't obscure, but maybe it's just in comparison. It's a niche rather, I think. You're gonna head out later? Chat later, Shana? I'll see you next time, Daily Doge. Same, except for Russians using the European servers. I feel bad because doesn't that technically apply to me as well? Because I also have to use European servers from South Africa, and I get like 200 ping. But also, coming back to what Laser mentioned earlier on, I feel like I went on a tangent, but it was about how countries, when you notice your own country, you know, you want to be like, hey, that's me, it's me in the limelight. Over the week earlier on, I don't know how many people, it got recommended to me, but a Pyrocynical video was released. It was 8 hours long, really long. It was a video about a show called Utopia. And at first I was like, this 8 hours, I'm not going to watch this. But it was a really well done video. I ended up watching the entire 8 hours. Essentially, it's about a British show. Okay, well, I would say just go watch the video yourself, but it's 8 hours long. It's a British show, and he goes through the entire series, you know, explaining everything that happens in the show. And the video itself got me really interested in the thing, and that's why I watched the whole video. But towards the end, without any spoilers, South Africa is mentioned in the show. You know, because of a news story, like there's something that happens worldwide across the globe, and South Africa, something happens in South Africa. It's very minor, but he mentions it by name. You know, he says, oh, something happens in here, in here, in here, and also even in South Africa. I paused the video. This is like 7 hours into the video. I paused the video to like laugh and think, whoa, who would have thought we get featured in the limelight in this 2013 British show. And then later on, like, he shows a scene from the show as well, and it has like a Google search showing the town that he's talking about in South Africa, and then it even shows South African currency and a South African passport, and I don't know why, I just loved seeing it. Like, that's my money. I have that same note in my wallet right now. I have that same passport in the safe in my house. I don't know why. It's nice, you know, to get recognition, even though it's, you know, throwaway. Like, I know the other biggest thing was, I don't know how many of you remember the 2012 thing. You know, oh, the world is gonna end. The Mayan calendar says the world is gonna end in 2012. But in the movie, one of the things was that the safest place was that, you know, everybody should go onto Table Mountain in South Africa, because apparently, since it's flat or something, it was the safest place to be. And I remember watching it in cinemas, and when people heard that, you know, go to South Africa, it's safest there, it's safe there, everybody started cheering, because, you know, like, woo, that's us, that's our country, South Africa, we're the ones that are going to be safe in 2012, woo. It was just really funny and amusing. And yeah, you clap when you see something you recognize, because it's not very often that you see South Africa mentioned in media. So I thought it was just funny to see. Alright, did you guys forget we're playing Super Autopets, the game, by the way? Completely sidetracked. I think we're gonna lose as well. Oh, Bobby? No, we might actually survive. Oh, we do somehow survive. Do not ask South Africans about Britain. Worst mistake of your life. Wait, what? Why? I legitimately don't know, Laser. What's wrong with Britain? Do not ask any country outside of Europe about Britain. Hang on. I don't have any qualms with Britain. What is this supposed beef that I'm not aware of? Like I said, I'm not exactly up to date with the whole political stuff, so. Oh, you're talking about the British Empire. I see. In that case, I see what you mean. Save this. Ooh, another hippo. Fine. But again, it's all water and like anything political, like between countries. I don't really care. Now, who cares if they colonized like half the world? Ooh, are we going to lose this? It's a very scary looking dog. Oh, we were one damage point away. When you tilt slightly and only one of the eyebrows shows. Oh, you mean like when I do this? Can I do it on command? The rock eyebrow move. You know, just before the stream started, funny you mentioned the rock thing, Laser. But I was amazed at the fact that there was a the rock apparently has rapped, or the rock was rapping at one point. There's like a copy pasta about it, but it's like, you know, thing. I forget what it exactly says, but it's like, it's about drive, it's about power, it's about something. I was like, what have we come to where the rock is rapping? Let me see if I can. I know, because it's become a copy pasta where it has like emojis in it as well. The rock rap lyrics. It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. Ahoo. Black and Samoan in my veins, my culture banging was strange. I changed the game, so what's my motherfucking name? Rock. What they gonna get though? Desecration, defamation. If you wanna bring it to the masses, face to face, now we escalating. When I have to put boots to asses. Mean on you like a dream when I'm rumbling. What you gonna scream, mama? So bring drama to the King Brahma, then what? Coming at you, extreme mana. And thank you for following as well, Bolter. You never clarified. Is it Bolter Marseille? I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Like, you don't actually pronounce the LLE. It's Bolter Marseille. And then at the end of it, the rock says, "Thank you, brother Tech9. Thank you, Terramana. One take. That's a wrap. Face off." And Marseille, is it? I forget what language it is. Is it like it's not French, is it? Like the LLE being like not pronounced. It's a word of it's a word of French origin, as I was thinking. What exactly? Oh, it's a place. But let's have a look and see. Oh, we also won apparently. French of all the letters, don't pronounce half of them. It's very inefficient. I'm only joking, of course. Let's see. Ooh. I might do something risky here. Oh. Oh. I'm banking all of my efforts now onto this worm going forward, but I don't even know if we're going to last long enough because we might lose this next round. But we'll see. You never had meal fail? I don't know. But it sounds based. Let me have a Google and see what it is. Oh my goodness, this guy has a fly and a tiger. A vanilla slice or custard slice, similar to but slightly different from the Napoleon, is a pastry whose exact origin is unknown. Its modern form was influenced by improvements made by Marie Antoine Carême. Millefeuille. It looks tasty. Why does it always come down to food talk? Somehow we have won though. Oh. I'm going all in. Okay, let's hope that the sushi goes onto the worm and the hippo. Okay, go into the hippo at least. Oh, fun fact, La Palma is still rumbling. What is La Palma? Wait, isn't that a... When you say rumbling, it makes me think... Is that a volcano or like a... It is! La Palma is one of Spain's Canary Islands, off Northwest Africa. It's rugged forest. Yeah. Volcano on the Spanish island. You say it's still rumbling. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, you say it's still rumbling. I googled it now quickly, and 7 hours ago it says residents fear for their future, and only 1 hour ago there are still updates being posted. So it's been going on for like the whole day almost, right? Threatens to destroy the island entirely. Oh my goodness, wait, what? Let me pull that up. Hopefully nobody here is there. Let me buy this for the rabbit. Yeah, let's hope that the pizza goes on to... Oh wait, actually, let's first upgrade the rabbit. Oh, the cat has one. And let's buy a pizza. Hopefully it goes to the worm and the hippo. I went to the worm at least. This is a lot more spread out. Like all of our units here are in double digits. By minor apocalypse, you mean a massive disaster on the eastern seaboard and parts of Western Europe. I mean, it does seem quite scary. Let me have a look and see. Oh, we're definitely losing though. But that gives us time though. Like you can see, who was that was asking earlier if I'm good? Is it Imchom? We are definitely not good. You can see we only make it up to 7. wins. But actually, let's have a look and see though, and read up about La Palma. La Palma volcano. Residents fear for their future. As the Cumbre Vieja volcano on La Palma continues to spew lava and ash, residents are worried as jobs dry up and state aid is slow to arrive. Some have already left the island, as DW correspondent Nicole Riz reports. Holy shit. Imagine this is your house. And you just look outside and there's just lava and magma flowing down. After 20 years in La Palma, Leonardo Rodriguez is packing his bags and preparing to bid goodbye to his home. It won't be easy. Together with his partner and their 2 cats, the chef plans to start a new life at the end of the month in the Spanish mainland in Granada. Rodriguez has already been promised a job there. The pizzeria in Jeddah, where he'd been working so far, has been shuttered for weeks. It's located directly at the foot of the Cumbre Vieja volcano. The house he had rented is also there. There's an area with 30 meters of ash or lava blanket. Wait, are you talking about... I hope you don't mean 30 meters depth, right? But Rodriguez can no longer go there since authorities have evacuated the area within a 6-kilometer, using metric system, nice, radius, and access is forbidden. The lava is too close. I've spoken to my boss. She's officially closing the place down at the beginning of December, Rodriguez says. The volcano just won't stop. Today there were very violent eruptions again. A colleague and I now have to give up our jobs, he adds, with evident tension in his voice. Rodriguez and his girlfriend were planning to buy a house in La Palma. They had certainly not planned on starting a new life from scratch. But the volcano, which erupted on September 19th, so that's what? Almost 2 months now, has changed everything. It has destroyed more than 1,500 buildings, and that has had a ripple effect on the real estate market. Like many local residents called Palmeros, Leonardo Rodriguez has had no luck finding a place. More and more islanders are now leaving, Rodriguez says, adding that even his sister has moved to Tenerife. There is hardly any work or accommodation, he says, and many do not want to continue to depend on state handouts, as he himself does right now. He says he still hasn't received a short-term work allowance promised by the government. Tomorrow, I have an appointment with the Red Cross. They're handing out a kind of credit card that he can use to buy gas or groceries at the supermarket. Everything except alcohol, clothes, and tobacco. Rodriguez explains, it has about 150 to 200 euros or 170 to $230 on it. So that's something at least. Aid is slow to arrive. The Spanish government had pledged over 250 million euros to help the island's inhabitants and finance new houses, infrastructure, and compensation payments for businesses. Sounds a bit like COVID, isn't it? But the funds have been slow to arrive. Sounds a lot like COVID, doesn't it? So far, the regional government has been able to invest only a fraction of the promised money, for example, in housing for evacuees or to provide them with psychological support. Some funds have also gone into setting up new irrigation systems for some banana plantations that are cut off from the water supply. However, many of the island's residents complain that they have received hardly any of the financial aid so far because its disruptions has been excessively bureaucratic. So let's see, this is La Palma. Santa Cruz de La Palma. And so the volcano is over here and the lava is flowing. I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but I mean, obviously, this is just the lava. I assume the impacts of like the ash and the soot across the entirety of the island is probably very dangerous. Oliver Martin normally works in the tourism industry. These days, however, he helps many of those affected by the volcano. He shovels volcanic ash and offers the use of his car for errands. He knows people who have had to present their documents to the authorities several times, yet are still waiting for state aid. Martin says some of them don't even have €1 for a coffee in their regular bar. That is quite tragic indeed. Donations by Spanish aid organizations are definitely helping, he says, but in his view, La Palma has changed virtually overnight. You can see the pain and despair on the faces of many people on the street. People are sad, although here in La Palma, we have always seen ourselves as happy people. You think it might have cut the 2021 hurricane season short? Oh, you mean like, you think the the effects caused by the volcano have literally stopped hurricanes. Like by changing the climate or the air and stuff like that. Holy shit, that's scary. Just looking outside your house and it's just lava. That is indeed very scary. But nothing since October 21. I mean, yeah, it's like a month later after the eruption, right? No, 27th. Yeah, so pretty much a month later. Ooh. But you know what? I think we can maybe do one more Super Auto Pet game, and then we'll call it. I was gonna contemplate doing a bit of Age of Empires, but maybe I'll wait to do that tomorrow. Actually, speaking of tomorrow, of course, there's the regular, the gambling stream tomorrow. Oh, absolutely, the underdogs. The pouting underdogs, because we're sad about losing all the time. There's, of course, going to be the good old gambling stream where we bet on marbles, and the winner who has the most points from betting on marbles will win a gift sub. That's always good fun to have. So that's going to be tomorrow at about 6 p.m. So I think 2.5 hours earlier from now. But there is I'm in a very nice scenario where tomorrow, rather early on in the day, like in about noon, my roommates are actually going out of the house, or they will be out of the apartment for a good while. And oh my goodness, first things first, so welcome Spike and all of his raiders. I guess first things first, I should probably welcome all of you guys. Let me see. Firstly though, welcome raiders, welcome everybody. Welcome. I know exactly what you were doing, Spike. You and All Bones Jones, but welcome everybody. Let me first do this. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an urgent announcement. We have had reports that the Twitch channel known as Shanaha_VT has recently fallen victim to a raid from an external party. Apparently there are indeed hostages currently in the stream at the time of the raid, and so we advise that these hostages follow the leader of the raid in order to ensure their own safety. There does appear to be an officer at the scene who is trying to negotiate with these raiders. The officer is kindly asking that all raiders follow Shanaha_VT in an attempt to make peace between the two parties. That's all the info we have at the moment. We'll keep you updated as events unfold, but for now, we shall return you to your regular viewing experience. But welcome back, and thank you, Spike, for the raid, as well as I know you were doing a collab with All Bones Jones, having a bit of racing in F-Zero. I'm not mistaken. Or F-Zero X specifically. Bit of a head-to-head with you and All Bones Jones. So anybody and everybody here, I highly implore that you check out Spike and All Bones Jones as well. Both of their links are there. And let me say hello to everybody. Hello to obviously Spike and Agoni Aeon. Sorry, never gonna give you up. As well as Pixel Kisser, Bolaros, All Bones Jones, Mechanicat, and everybody else, as well as Cool Boy Mew. And thank you for following Cool Boy Mew, All Bones Jones, Bolaros, and Agon E Aeon. I think it's right. Agon E Aeon? Or Agon Aeon? Let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I am playing a game called Super Auto Pets. It's an auto battler game. Essentially, you line up a nice team of pets here, and I should zoom back into the screen. There we go. So you can see here, I have a list of 5 pets, 2 ants, 2 mosquitoes, and a fish. And we shall valiantly go forward against somebody else's team of 5 pets. But before we do that though, it seems as though somebody's calling up a maid. The raid has caused quite a bit of a mess, that you're tracking in all this dirt from where you came in. So we have to get the maid to come clean it up. So let me quickly call her. Oh my, just look at all of this mess that is caused up here. And I have to clean it all up
after all of you from the Spikes raid. Oh my goodness. Could you all have at least cleaned your shoes or at least left your shoes at the door before coming in? My goodness. This is so much work for a maid to do. And it looks like Aegon is just enough. Alright then, Aegon, I will call you that from now on. Hopefully, you don't mind me calling you by that nickname. And yes, Laser, it is indeed maid time. Of course, Shanahan is just too lazy to clean up after himself, so he always calls me to do the cleaning for him. It's quite frustrating if you ask me. So, while we're at it, why not let's also head into battle in the Super Auto Pets game here. For those of you who don't know, it is an auto battler game where you can spend gold buying different pets, lining them up, and then having them fight out and duke out like this. And as you can see, we won there. Between each round, of course, you get 10 gold, which you can use to either buy new items or buy new friends. So, let's have a look and see. We can buy a ram over here and buy some more things. So, that is how the game works. I won't say I'm very good at the game. I have not even gotten a single win yet. And why are there 10 lives? Oh my goodness, Aegon. A very good question. You see, if you're familiar with this game, there used to be 4 lives only. But there was a recent update, I think just 2 days ago, where now you have 10 lives. And in the first couple of rounds, you lose 1 heart if you lose. That's why you can say I only have 9. And if you lose in the second round, or from stage 2 onwards, you lose 2 hearts. But once you get to stage 3 onwards, you lose 3 hearts every single round. So in theory, at most, you can lose still 4 games at the maximum, or 4 games at the minimum. But now it scales, so you don't have to worry about losing as early on. Especially because early on in the game, it is very luck dependent. You could get screwed over and you could have stuck with some horrible pets, meaning that you're just forced to lose, and nobody likes losing 25% of their life for a simple bad hand at the start. And who the hell keeps a mosquito as a pet? That's a very good question, never gonna give you up. Apparently, us. But you can see, these pets have very special abilities. You'll see here, when the sheep dies, what it does is it spawns 2 rams in its place. Or the mosquito does 1 damage to a random enemy at the start of the game. And so, this will be a draw, thankfully, it looks like. But I think that is time for the maid, though. And I get to call Shanahan back. Da-da-da-da. But yes, it is indeed a very interesting design choice for the game. You know, having the whole scaling health is very cool. It makes it be a bit more, it makes losing in the early game a lot less severe. Let's have a look and see. Doesn't make it feel as bad. It's, yeah, and as Laser has pointed out, it's a realistic Pokemon. Ooh. And also, yeah, the other big thing is that you start off each turn with 10 gold, and there's no, unlike other auto battlers, there's no point in storing your gold for the next round. So you always want to try and use it up between rounds, whether it be re-rolling or buying stuff, especially because you can keep items for the next round by freezing them like this. And Pixel, that is the exact reason why we bought the Christmas sets as well. We bought them with the in-game points purely because I would say, you know, it's November, Christmas is still a while away, but I mean, we already had Christmas decorations going up at the start of the month, so I figured it might be suitable. And yes, you get them through buying them with points. You buy them with trophies that you can get in the game. And unfortunately, we lost once more. You thought they just came automatically? No, you have to earn them. Like you can see here as well, I lost 2 hearts there, whereas earlier I only lost a single heart. I think starting next turn now? Yes. Starting this turn, we unlock tier 3 animals, but also we now lose 3 lives per loss. So we have
we can afford to lose 2 more times, effectively speaking. Oh, penguin's not that great. Let's have a look and see. That should be fine, I think. Let's sell this. Is this lost? What are the good old meme, right? What is it? It's two guys. No, one guy walking in, 2 guys speaking, and then they go to the bed at the end. The dodo is, I know the dodo did get an update, I think. I forget exactly what it was, but I know that the dodo is indeed a big scaler. You know, with the double damage towards the end and stuff like that. And also, especially now, speaking of scaling, I think that is one of the benefits of the health change, is because losing early on has less of an impact, it makes scaling a bit more viable. As a strategy. Let's see. Let's see. Let's sell this spider. The ox. And the the doo-doo and the peacock, the good old cock strategy, as we like to call it. But Aegon, trust me, like I said, I am a complete failure at this game. So I am probably doing all of the wrong plays anyway. For example, I know for a fact having the whale eat the sheep is a bit unoptimal because the sheep is only able to summon 1 as opposed to 2. Also, this dodo is getting a bit scary. Thankfully, the melon armor will break through that. Do we win this? Yes, we do. I think we have yet to get past 7 trophies. Like this. Oh, another canned food. Speaking of, this dodo is going to get nice and strong then if we keep on buffing it up with the canned food. But let's have a look and see. Oh my goodness, Laser! Actually, have you cracked the code to it? Agony Aion. Maybe that is the actual name. Instead of whatever it was, like the multiple different incorrect pronunciations I had. And oh yes, like Aeon, like the eternity. Is it Greek? I never knew that. Let's sell this. It does kind of sound a bit like a Quake level. Oh, another dodo. Nice. Oh, roll one more time. Another dodo. Level 2 dodo incoming, if we can survive that long enough. Temple of Agony. Now that you've said Laser, it does sound a lot like a Quake level. But let's see. Oh, this guy's also using the dodo strategy. Almost very similar team compositions, actually. Incredibly similar. Even had like the turtle whale combo. But unfortunately, his team is a bit stronger than ours. Only Quake level that has a word agony in it is Azure Agony. Ah. Agon is actually more a term for conflict or struggle. Ah. I mean, yeah, I suppose that's where like agony, the full word, comes from. We're learning so much about languages. I feel like we always end up learning about languages on these streams. Ooh, gorilla. Unga bunga indeed. Let's see. Ooh, another turtle. Another oxazole. It's one of the later levels in the Elder World. It's the one that feels like a sewer, and I think it comes right after Pain Maze. It's crazy that you memorize all these names, Laser. So really, it's an endless struggle, but the Agon E do be nice. Speaking of agony, I think we might hopefully be winning this. I think we do win this. Let's have a look and see now. Let's upgrade our ox. Cat is nice. A cat will do. Ah, a worm and also a sleeping pill. Ooh. A cow as well. Oh my goodness, these are all so good. I feel like I'm getting, what is it? Analysis paralysis, or the problem of choice. Having all of those different animals on the bench. Thankfully the melon armor will save us from that scorpion though. But are we going to be fine here? Oh. Okay, we do win. Now here's the question. How do we transition from this? I feel like the worm... the worm could be very useful. You used to hate Pain Level Maze, the level Pain Maze, but since you managed a damageless run of it on Nightmare, you no longer fear it. The achievement for damageless on Nightmare is called Painless Maze. Ah, I see. Pain Maze, Painless Maze. I really want to use this worm. Let me sell the draw. Use the cow to buff the dodo. Maybe we should do that. We can buy a bunch of... yeah, because it's so late in the game and doesn't really have time to scale. So let's... increase the dodo. Because the dodo will also then buff the ox in turn. Should I... Let's upgrade the turtle a little bit more. Ooh, wait a minute. Isn't Tiger Dodo like super strong? Because the tiger will mean that... Hang on, where's my calculator? Does that not mean that the tiger will make the dodo give 2 times 14? So, wait, no, 4 times... Would it give 4 times 14? Because it would give double 14 twice. So it effectively maxes out the character in front of its attack. I think for now, though, it should be good. I mean, it's better than the cow, I think. So let me do that. Do I want the hippo, though? Maybe having the hippo... Because if I could just have the hippo steamroll through everything. We'll wait for now. Oh. It's way too late for a monkey. Where were you like 5 years ago? Maybe... I feel like I can replace the ox with something. Maybe replace the ox with the gorilla that I've been storing? Well, we first have to hope that I can make it to the next round. That's the big thing. I think we do make it though. Yes, we do. The skin of our teeth. Ooh. Alright, here's the question though. Do I kind of want to sell the ox, I think. If I can get the turtle level 2 and replace the ox with like a gorilla, I feel like that'd be the play to make. Especially because I can buff up the gorilla even more now. Now let's just buff up the hippo a bit more. Because right now, the ox is doing good work because it gets the melon armor every time the hippo dies. Uh-oh. This is looking scary. I think we might... Actually, I think we might actually survive this. Purely because, again, the lemon armor is what saves us. Oh, wait, no! That had 1 extra health. And unfortunately, that is a loss. And here, I thought we would make it because of what we had. But as always, we can go right back into it. Again, it's way too addicting to just start up a game so easily. Okay, but again, the most important question is, what is our name? We are absolutely wet. That is no doubt about it. Are we wet bagels, wet shirts, or wet rangers? I think we were gushing rangers last time. Maybe wet rangers will find us some better success this time around. We don't even have any fish though. Are we really that wet? That is the question. Ooh. Do we win this? I think we tie this, maybe. Oh no, we absolutely lose this. But again, thanks to the recent patch, or the update, we only lose 1 heart out of our 10 hearts. Let's buy another horse. Because I know what a lot of, well, even what I used to do was, if I would lose that first round, I would immediately, go to the menu and abandon the game, to start over again. Because nobody wants to start on a loss. But now what they've done is actually, they fought that by including a, like an abandoned queue. So if you abandon too many games too often, you go up against other people that also have abandoned too often. And, oh my goodness, 2 snails. I do not need that. Spy. A cunny, aka a crab. And let's move over to the next round. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to go with the combo here. I feel like so many people that win, it's because they know going into it, oh, I want to try and go for this combo. Meanwhile, here I'm just throwing shit at a wall and hoping that it works. Let's see. I sell this. Let's buy a cock, shall we? And... ooh, not that. Wow, 3 spiders. Interesting. In theory, I think next round I can upgrade all of that. Or upgrade the spider into something else. Ooh. It's like this guy already has like the synergy of the elephant peacock going on. That's gonna start doing a lot of damage. But do I still somehow win. I should also... I don't know how many trophies I have, but I want to buy a background as well in the future. Okay, now that we have tier 3 unlocked, when I upgrade the spider, I will get a tier 4 animal. Here's hoping it's something good. It is a deer. That is not something that great, I'll admit. Let's do this. There were definitely better things like a monkey that I could have gotten, but I didn't. Let's have a look and see though. Maybe it'll work out still. Oh, also, I think one thing I was talking about this before the raid, but tomorrow, Sunday, is I'm in a very nice scenario where my 2 roommates are going to be outside of the house. They're at, what is it? They're at some Magic the Gathering event. So they're going to be out of the house from like noonish until who knows when. So other than the regular racing stream that always happens as per usual, maybe I'll do a bit of an early stream as well in the day. Where maybe that's when I'll play some of Age of Empires 4. Seeing as I just bought it. But also, I was thinking maybe... the last time I had the apartment to myself, what I did was I had an impromptu karaoke stream. Because, you know, I get to be loud and I get to shout at my house. So maybe, who knows, tomorrow morning, I'll have another one. You know, when I have the apartment to myself, who knows what I can do. Yeah, and karaoke indeed. And maybe this time, Spike, you won't be... you'll actually be able to speak and chat. You won't be banned. Do we win this? We do win this. But that's the thing, though. I only knew that they would be out of the apartment yesterday. So this is very short notice that I heard about this. So if I do a karaoke, it'd be very unprepared. Like I wouldn't have had any time to prepare any songs. It'd just be whatever I can come up with on the spot. A worm so early, yes please. Let me just force feed it this food here. Like I have had like in the past couple of weeks and stuff thoughts of, you know, what can I sing next? Maybe definitely I should do the rap from the Rock does. It's about drive. It's about I already forgot what it is. Where is it? It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour. I'll do that entire rap thing. But the other thing I was thinking of was what is it? Disney sing-along songs. Because when I was younger, one of the things that I used to watch on loop was a VHS tape of, I think it was Disney sing-along songs. Let's see now. That was a bit of a tragic loss, so let's use this to come back, hopefully. Oh, I'm stupid. I was meant to use the pill on the spider, not the... Okay, that's fine. We can recover from this, hopefully. Man, because we could have gotten something nice from that spider if we used the pill on it. Because instead of getting something out of it, we accidentally used the pill, which meant that it just straight up died. Or we just got the gold from it, nothing else. Do we lose this as well? Absolutely we do. Look at how much health that crab has. Once again, stopped by the powerful Kani. Kani, of course, being the Japanese word for crab. Ooh. Let's hope we can get... Ooh! Once again. That. And yeah, crab. Yeah! Kani. I can even type it in... See? Let me... I can even Google search it. Google Translate. From English to Japanese. Also, we lost hard there, but I'm busy Googling, so... We lost, but that's perfect timing to show you this. See?
Kani. Kani. Crab. Kani.
Exactly. We can even go Google image search and see it's all pictures of crabs. That's why I said we lost to a very powerful Kani. Okay, I promise this will be the last one. I promise. It's this game is just conducted to the, the one more syndrome. Do not search crab on stream. What's wrong with crabs? Ooh. Sniffing. Sniffing abs. Sniffing abs. The most perfect name to end off on. Oh my goodness, come on. Give me the name Sniffing Abs. Like I just started streaming, she's gonna play. Ooh! I remember I played Idle Manager a while ago. I'll have to give a look. Maybe after this stream ends we can raid into Leica. And oh my goodness, we may have lost this time, but the abs, the abs are busy developing. We're busy trying to form the six-pack. Funny story, actually. I don't know if it's a funny story, but there was recently a trend on Twitter. I forgot what day it was, but it was called I Onaka no Hi. It was a Japanese hashtag, and it was the best day ever because people would just... It basically meant nice stomach day. And what that was essentially people were just posting fan art of stomachs. Or like very specifically focusing on like the midriff. And that was I had a field day with that tag on Twitter that day. Once again we're losing, but slowly but surely we'll get there. Another kangaroo. See. But Tummy Day was a very I know there was also there was Tummy Day, there was Boob Day, obviously. I think there was also Leg Day and then Ass Day, all of which had their own tags trending on Twitter. Another peacock. Never say no to that. And another peacock. Yes, please. A dodo, which we can buy over here. And that should be it. Once again, though, I'm not really planning out the late game build here. Ooh. Are we going to lose once more here? Actually... Or we get lucky and we tie. Let me have a look and see. Yeah, we definitely need to restructure our team a bit here. Let us sell the mosquito. Buy a spider. I'm actually... Sell the fish. Buy a whale. And... Oh, none of these are very good. Let's buy garlic armor for the peacock. So it takes 2 less damage each turn. Or 2 less damage from each attack. Ta-da. And do we... Ooh, I don't know if we win this. We might. This peacock is getting very scary. It's another case of drawing right at the end. Also, I realize now that I have a bad... My lineup is very bad. I should have the kangaroo bind the peacock. There we go. Another dodo. And we can save it for the whale. Because again, I think the biggest... Other than the composition of what you have in your team, the lineup that they're in is also the other big thing. And then otherwise, after that, it's just up to the AI and just praying that you get a good team. Do we... I think we win. Yes, we should win. Oh, no, wait, no. We don't win. By 1 health, again. Let's see. There's... let's try this out. Oh my goodness, that's the worst we could have gotten. Let's buy a sheep instead. How are we losing with the maybe the sniffing abs, we're a bit too obsessed with sniffing abs that we're losing focus, and that's why we're losing so much. That's what I'll blame it on. The abs are just too enticing for us. We're already down to like our last life. Ooh, another pair. And we've only won 1 single time. That is quite tragic. But let's have a look and see. This is also looking like quite a tough matchup. A turtle and an ox. That's a lot of melon armors. But maybe... Can we sweep with our kangaroo? Oh, we do somehow win. Unknown error code happened. Interesting. A scorpion. Let's upgrade. Let's sell the peacock and buy a gorilla. And then we can upgrade him. Shark is not what we want. Sharks are very strong for people that have like the spamming the summons thing, because every time somebody faints it gets attack and defense. Ooh. That's a very strong turtle. A very beefy turtle, if you will. But I think we should do okay. The dodo is... We need to upgrade our dodo. It's not doing too great. Because it does give attack to the gorilla, but only like hardly any. But let's look. What does a gorilla get when it upgrades its thing? Oh. Uh-oh, I think I... okay, no, I didn't. Another turtle. A monkey? Monkeys are always nice to have. But maybe I can buy the monkey and put the gorilla up front? Oh, this guy's doing the same thing with a whale eating a deer. Ooh, but his... yeah, him having a turkey is going to be quite annoying. I think this is where we lose. This might be where we lose. Yep. Only 3 wins. Definitely our... And that was with the sniffing abs. That was supposed to be the run. We had the team name and everything. Oh my goodness. But let's have a look though. Can we at least buy anything new now? We have 156 points. Oh my... A background... These backgrounds are so expensive. 5,000 points. Okay, 500. 1,000. So all those people with the fancy backgrounds, they've been playing this a lot. Or at least they've been winning a lot. I mean, we've got 156 and the hat we bought was 200, so we hardly have any points ourselves. But maybe in the future, though. I mean, I'll definitely be playing more of this, I feel like. But until then, though, let's move over here. Whoop. Let me also close the game up here. Once again, thank you everybody for coming out. And I don't want to touch wood, but the load shedding has supposedly stopped for the foreseeable future. I'm hoping that tomorrow there's no load shedding, because if there isn't, that means that maybe I'll do like a big stream, like, well, not big, but like a long stream, because the racing, which if you don't know what I mean when I say racing, it is of course the weekly horse racing gambling stream, which happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. UTC or 11 a.m. Eastern or 8 a.m. Pacific, depending on where you are in the world. It's a race stream where we can bet on marbles, and depending on who gets the most points after a couple of races, you could win a prize. The prize, of course, being a gift sub to anybody you want. So if you feel a little bit lucky, maybe tomorrow you can come on by and place some bets, do some gambling. But maybe, who knows, earlier on in the day, seeing as though I'll have the apartment to myself, maybe I'll do a little bit of an extra early stream. Maybe I'll play some Age of Empires 4. Maybe I'll play some more Super Auto Pits. Maybe I'll even do some karaoke. You'll try to catch it so you can lose some more. Listen, I don't want to talk about losing, right? I just think about opportunities. Think of it like that. It's not about losing. It's opportunities to win. Maybe you don't always get that opportunity, but there's always a chance, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But that is it for today's stream, though. thank you everybody for showing up, whether it be for a little bit or if it was from Spike's raid. Thank you for coming on by. Let me have a look and see who is all online though. Yeah, it's a good way to think. Yeah, exactly. You always got to be positive. It's not about losing. And also, Laser, I was looking for her. I was confused because I forgot that she changed her name to Balika instead of Leica Lynx. I was very confused. Now that I finally found her on my following list, we can raid into her. So, has she started? Yes, she has started. Once again, as always, thank you all for showing up. The raid message, as usual, will be your classic, typical Shanna hello. And I shall see you all tomorrow then, hopefully. Whether it be for the gambling or for the early stream. I'll see you all next time. Until next time, though, I shall see you all. Hope you have a good rest of your day, rest of your week, and rest of your evening. Bye-bye, everyone. I don't know why that didn't have the transition. Why did it not do the transition? I'll figure that out later on. It's fine. Bye, everyone.